Going over the characteristics of money will rapidly expand your knowledge and understanding of what money is. All that knowledge and understanding will just as rapidly jump over to understanding Bitcoin, since after all, Bitcoin is the best money ever created. Medium of exchange. A medium of exchange is the thing itself that one party can use to trade with another party so that they do not have to barter. When you barter with someone to make a trade, you simply tell someone what you want to receive and what you want to give for it. Like a nice handmade hat in exchange for a warm pair of shoes. When there is a medium of exchange that both parties want to use, you can trade. There is no unnecessary stress in finding out what both parties want to receive and what they want to pay. Like, an ounce of gold can be used to pay for a large shopping cart full of groceries or some hats or pairs of shoes. It's a lot easier to trade when using a medium of exchange that is accepted, preferably as white as possible, than using barter. Gold in this example is the medium of exchange that allows for the trade to happen. The receiver of the gold is happy to have gotten the gold in exchange for their goods or services because they know they can buy other things with that same medium of exchange. Hopefully, this explanation makes sense together with the explanation of Investopedia. A medium of exchange is an intermediary instrument or system used to facilitate the sale, purchase, or trade of goods between parties. Investopedia medium of exchange. Unit of account. A unit of account sounds way more complicated than it is. Simply said, a unit of account is a measure expressed in numbers to make sense of calculating prices. All value is subjective. To make life and trading easier, we measure things. For measuring value, we use a unit of account. Think of it like you use centimeters to measure and calculate if you can fit a closet into that small empty corner of your living room. But to buy the closet, you don't use centimeters to measure its price, you will use a different unit of account, like money. The $1,000 will buy you 1,000 items that cost $1. Or one iPhone. The opposite is true as well, 1,000 items that cost $1 can be sold to gain $1,000. Or one iPhone can be sold for $1,000. The same unit of account works for every different good or service because the numbers can be measured and calculated. Fungible. To continue the previous example. For someone to sell 1,000 items for $1 each, the dollars have to be fungible. Fungible means that things are interchangeable. Although every dollar bill, rock, or necklace is unique, they can still be the same. You could trade a dollar bill for a different dollar bill that has different marks on it, but still, both dollar bills have the same value. They are the same unit of account, and they are the same medium of exchange. Money has to be fungible. If it is not, people won't use it. They simply won't trust the money that someone wants to pay for the goods and services that they're selling. Since with non-fungible money, the value of it can be too subjective. Divisible. Money has got to be easily divisible. One of the reasons why we don't use gold as money anymore is because of the problems with dividing gold. To divide gold into smaller pieces to buy smaller or low-value goods, you have to melt or cut the gold. Obviously, in the year 2022, it would be impossible to have such complexity around us and pay for everything by chipping a little piece of gold every time you go to the supermarket. Being able to divide a $1 bill into 100 cents enables the market to price things more efficiently, and it makes it easier for people to trade with each other. When you buy one apple for 10 cents and you pay for it with a $1 bill, you'll want the 90 cents back. With Dutch inflation being at 15%, this example where an apple costs 10 cents is pretty outdated, but the concept is the same. If you cannot divide a money, we will be forced to only buy in quantities we may not want. If you could not divide a dollar bill into 100 smaller pieces, you will only be able to buy 10 apples for $1. For small transactions like buying 10 apples for $1, this is not a big problem. But for just a slightly larger transaction, like a full grocery cart that costs $92, it is quite nice to be able to get $8 back instead of having to buy an extra $8 worth of goods. Note that dividing something doesn't create more value out of thin air. Dividing a dollar into 100 pieces cannot buy you more stuff than a $1 note. Same as slicing a pizza into increasingly more, smaller pieces cannot feed the entire world. A great first lesson about inflation can be learned from divisibility. Think about the last time you bought something for 15 cents. You probably don't remember or you never have. I do remember candy, sodas, bread, and apples for 15 cents. In Holland, a punt sack with fries 60 years ago cost 15 cents. Now 20 times more at $3. In America 60 years ago, a McDonald's hamburger used to cost 15 cents, now $6, that's 40 times more expensive. The average yearly wage has only gone up 10 times from $5,400 in 1960 to $5,000 in 2022, resulting that all change under $1 is now almost useless. What can you still get under $1? Durable. Another complicated sounding yet quite simple characteristic of money is durability. Durability simply describes how easy or difficult it is to damage something. When something is not very durable, it can be destroyed pretty easily, and when something is very durable, it cannot be destroyed easily. In the case of apples, it is known that apples will rot and decay over a long enough period. Salt, which has been used as money before, is not very durable either since it will melt away in the rain and the sun. Gold is very durable. The same gold that was created when stars died is still around today. That same gold has been used over and over again in jewelry, electronics, and of course large gold bars in vaults. The chemical characteristics that nature has given to gold are what made gold the best form of money for a long time. On the other side of money, there is a paper currency. Paper currency is a lot less durable than gold. Although paper currency notes are made of special, more durable paper than regular print paper, they still burn, tear and soak in similar ways as normal paper. Money without high durability does not stand a chance against money that is as durable as dead star energy. In terms of Bitcoin, how durable do you think digital information is? Portable. Money has to be portable, meaning that it can be easily transferred from one location or person to a different location or person. When it comes to salt, sugar, or sand, it is easy to carry them with you and trade them for other things wherever you go. If you protect them from the environment, even larger quantities can be transported in a very straightforward way. However, transporting very large quantities of any physical thing comes with certain obstacles. All of these characteristics exist on a spectrum, ranging from low portability to high portability. The best form of money is chosen to be used widely because it scores the highest on each characteristic spectrum. Portability is crucial because money that cannot be easily moved will simply not be used. Gold is no longer widely used as money due to its difficulty in everyday transportation. Gold is still money, but in terms of portability and other factors, it is not the money that people chose to use. Paper currencies have significantly improved the efficiency of money's portability. Now, most forms of money have all these characteristics. Some forms of money excel in certain characteristics, while some score high or lower on others. Gold and silver score very high on some very important characteristics, like durability. However, being highly durable alone is not enough. The portability of gold and silver is an obstacle. The fungibility of gold and silver has some problems too. Different levels of purity of gold are difficult to verify without special equipment. So yes, paper currencies and their electronic equivalents of them are better in being money than gold and silver when you look at some characteristics. They are both different tools for different purposes. Money is a technology that people use to communicate. These 7 characteristics are simply ways to measure and determine how efficient a money is as a communication tool. These 7 points are not made-up rules. They are organic building blocks of the DNA of money. One characteristic can be more important than the other, but only the highest-ranking money survives in the end. Gresham's law. Bad money drives out the good money. Meaning that when people have the option to spend, earn, and save multiple types of money, they will do their best to save good money while spending the bad money first, resulting in the good money barely circulating and the bad money is all over the place thrown around almost like someone has an infinite money printer. That is printing non-stop, out of thin air, for the benefit of the very few and at the expense of the many and all. Think about the world and the people around you. When you own a house, the last thing you want to do is sell that house, since it is, most often, more valuable to keep than whatever amount of numbers you can get for it. Even when you can get an absurd amount for your 50 square meter apartment in Amsterdam, it is better to hold on to that apartment to be able to live rent-free or generate income by renting it out. When you own a house and things get financially tough, you will make sure to spend everything else you can spend before you sell your house. The best form of money can be easily divided into any unit of account that should be transportable across space, that is durable enough to withstand environmental damage, and is accepted as an interchangeable fungible item so that it can be used as an effective medium of exchange. All while its purchasing power is preserved over a long period of time. Store of value. Every day is a bank account, and time is our currency. No one is rich, no one is poor, We've got 24 hours each. Christopher Rice. First off, I have no clue who Christopher Rice is. I simply wanted to have a cool saying to introduce this final and the most fundamental characteristic of money. Although the quote above is true, our currency of life is time. We've got 24 hours each day, and through that lens no one is poor and no one is rich. But a person that utilizes money that can store value through time is mathematically richer than someone who uses money that does not hold or loses its value over time. An example below to support my radical claim. Person A works a fair job for a fair wage. This person saves their money in a currency that on average has a 2% inflation rate per year. Meaning every year the purchasing power of the stack of wealth this person has and works for is going down by 2%. Person B works a fair job for a fair wage. This person saves their money in a currency that has no inflation. Prices sometimes fluctuate due to supply-demand, but the end result comes down to no inflation for some unexplainable magical reason. Meaning every year the purchasing power of the stack of wealth this person has and works for stays the same. Now the lesson learned is not coming from this magical money that person B is using. Money has to be a store of value, especially over a long period of time. To make a quick point about how devastating inflation is. Inflation of 2% per year results in a loss of 51.5% in 21 years. I don't want to confuse you with all of this, but it is well worth talking about it right now. Regardless of what you or a politician may think about where inflation comes from. It is undeniably bad for most people. That is the lesson. Let's say you have a great job that you like very much and it allows you to live your life to the fullest and you can save $1,000 every month. You do that for 21 years. 12 months a year, 21 years equals 252 months in 21 years, $1,000 equals $252,000. You save $252,000, you are finally ready to buy your dream house. Assuming that inflation over 21 years has been 2% on average and totals 51.5% inflation in 21 years, that means that your $252,000 is then only worth $122,220. In other words, that house now costs $381,947.92, which means you have to continue to work for another 11 years. After those 11 years of working and saving, if inflation stays at 2% annually, you will have to work even more. Inflation is when you pay $15 for the $10 haircut you used to get for $5 when you had hair. Sam Ewing. Inflation is never discussed or explained in media or at school. It is hidden in plain sight since everyone knows things get more expensive all the time and prices never really go back down. The example I made above is not exaggerated at all. People do lose 51.5% of their money in 21 years, and that is just on an average inflation rate of 2%. The Eurozone in 2022 experienced 10% plus inflation in just 1 year. Turkey has an average inflation rate of 32% every year from 1960 to 2022. That means an item that costs 100 liras in 1960 costs 616,541,967.63 liras today.